Everything he does is magic, and Ryan Fitzpatrick, once again, another season, another team here. And right here, Fitzpatrick, he signs a one-year, $10 million deal with the Washington football team. And Fitzpatrick, he could still ball, no doubt about it. Last season, I think he outplayed and outperformed Tua Tagovailoa as the starter. And the Dolphins, they were on a good run, and then they put Tua in, and they were just a mediocre team at best. But Fitzpatrick, he could still move the ball down the field. He still could get the ball to open guys, and he also could take off and rush for a few yards as well. So Fitzpatrick here, it looks like he's going to be the starter going into training camp this season from the early reports of this signing. But Fitzpatrick, he just keeps finding a way to stay in the league, and he still can produce, like I said. So this will be his 7th team in the last 10 seasons now in the NFL for Fitzpatrick. So they got Taylor Hanke, who played a great game versus Tampa Bay, but they couldn't get the job done in the playoffs. And he signed a 2-year deal for $8 million, was Hanke. But right now it's Fitzpatrick's time. He's the veteran. He's 38 years old, and he's going to be the starter going into the season next year. In the last couple seasons, it's been pretty solid for Fitzpatrick. 2019, 3,500, 29 passing yards, 20 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, which is always a problem for him. 243 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. And then last season, he started about half the games, I would say. He passed for 2,091 yards, 13 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 151 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and even caught a ball. And he had 3 two-point conversions. So Fitzpatrick, he's got a nose for the game. He's a hard worker. He's a smart guy too, obviously. Going to Harvard was Ryan Fitzpatrick. So Fitzmagic, another season here where he's going to start the year as the starter. And I think he's going to be a decent starter for this Washington team. The division isn't strong. The Dallas Cowboys, I know they re-signed Dak, but they got tons of issues on defense. The Philadelphia Eagles, they traded Carson Wentz, and their defense has been horrible the last few seasons. So it's kind of a rebuild with Jalen Hurts and a new head coach. And the New York Football Giants, they've been pretty bad the last few seasons. And last year, this whole division was horrible, with Washington winning the division pretty much on default. But I think Fitzpatrick, if he could have an opportunity and get all the chances here, he's going to be a good fantasy player. And he's a quarterback you probably get as a backup, or if you're in a 2-quarterback league, as your second quarterback this season. But he's a player you probably target in the later rounds, 13th to the 15th round, because he still could pass for touchdowns. We've seen some 300 to 400-yard passing games from Fitzpatrick the last few seasons, and he's on a decent roster here with some good pieces in Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissick out of the backfield. You got a good tight end in Logan Thomas over there. You got a great number 1 receiver in Terry McLaurin, so he's got guys to work with and weapons, and we know he's a guy that's going to put the ball up and chuck it all over the field. So Ryan Fitzpatrick signs with the Washington football team, and we'll see what he does in the upcoming 2021 season for the Washington football team here.